Hi, everyone. Welcome to Know Like Trust for Real Estate, where I helped you craft unique marketing and branding strategies that align with your unique strengths. Agents who work with me grow their business on average 40% by aligning their marketing with who they are, not what they sell. Today, I'm joined by Hilaire Radowick, who is a 23-year veteran in the Pacific Northwest. Specifically, she's in Gig Harbor, Washington. And today, we're talking all about how to market to your niche. So Hilarie's biggest challenge is how to market to her niche, which essentially are downsizers. Downsizers and their trustees, their kids, or whomever is helping take care of their estate. 100% of her business comes from her sphere, and she's doing very little to no marketing to help get her message out there and to continue and grow her business working in that niche market. So we talked about some very specific things she can do both once she gets the listing appointment, as well as what she can do and how she can lean into the communities she's already a part of to help get her message out and bring more downsizers into her business. So, Hilaire, I'm really excited to have you on the podcast today. I'm really excited to learn more about your business and try to understand, what your biggest challenge is and how we can support you. So why don't we just get right into it? Tell me, what is your biggest marketing challenge?
My biggest marketing challenge is I decided to niche down a few months ago after being in the business for 23 years and not niching. And I chose it's going to be senior real estate, which brings up all kinds of things. That's why I'm kind of hesitating in my head. It's like, okay, what do I say? Because it involves a lot of times when you're doing real estate with a senior, there's an adult child that's also involved or relatives that are also involved. And so that's 35 to 55 demographic. And how do you market to two different age groups and different, they're looking at the situation different. Maybe they're completely healthy and they want to age in place and they want to help the kids, with their kids. So it could be 3 generations that you're working at. And it could be multi-generational living. It could be living on their own. It could be downsizing. It could be aging in place. I mean, there's so many different things. It's like, how do you do that? How do you market to all those different people?
Yeah. It's a great question. And it's a great niche because there are 80 million or so baby boomers out there right now, right?
Right.
Who are really becoming, the older boomers are at that senior level for sure. So your biggest challenge is figuring out how to market to them, which in your mind really means marketing to their children as well.
Right.
And so when you think about the struggle, what feelings come up? Like what emotions come up when you're trying to figure out how to combat this challenge?
It's like, should I say that or shouldn't I say that? I mean, I've kind of learned that seniors don't like to be called seniors.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're fine, but and so I want to avoid that. And not everyone is wanting to age in place. I mean, they may be already getting Alzheimer's. And then I'm definitely dealing with or working with the children.
Yeah.
Or it could be a brother or sister that I'm working with.
Yeah. So hesitation around what you should say, how you should say it, and who you should be speaking to. That's
right.
Hesitation, maybe a little frustration.
Yeah. When I'm marketing, it's like, who should I be speaking to? When I'm with the client, I have no issue. I'm interviewing them and I'm trying to figure out who are the decision makers and what is the situation.
Okay, so let's go back so I can learn a little bit more about your business. You've been in the business for 23 years. Where are you getting your business from right now?
Word of mouth and my sphere.
Perfect. So what percent of your business is coming from your sphere right now?
All of it.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That's awesome. That's exactly where you want to be, right? For a sustainable business. And how are you staying in touch with those folks?
I used to be more like going places and networking, but nowadays that's completely changed. My life has changed. I've gotten older. I'm not interested in being in traffic all day long.
Yeah.
Going to these events. And it makes for a very long day if you're going out and socializing and networking and working on top of all of that. But now it's more like I'm going about my daily interests and daily things that I do. And I do a little bit of posting on social media, but I don't get leads from strangers on social media right now. I just don't, probably because of the way I'm doing it. It's just a personal thing. And I'm not actively trying to get a stranger to come to me.
Are you getting engagement with, people who know you on social media?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. And it's to do with my interests. Like I'm also an artist.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Tell me about your interests and what things you do to participate in your hobbies and your passions.
I do artwork. I was more involved in the art league that's local here, but now I'm not. I just still know those people that were in the art league, and some of them have also left. And so it's a huge community of people that know people, and they're all tend to be in my age bracket or older. So it's just a natural conversation. We're talking about, so-and-so went into the hospital, or also a book club. That has kind of broadened my world because I've met different people through that also. And it's just like a domino effect. I'm going after my interests because I realize at this stage of my life, it needs to be something I'm enjoying.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah.
So I noticed in your social profiles that you used to be, or maybe you still are, an interior designer.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you still doing that?
Yes, I do. When I'm remodeling or renovating a house, I put all those skills to work, and that's my happy zone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a great skill to have. Okay, so I'm going to park that for a second. You've got some really great hobbies and interests that you participate in on the regular, it sounds like. Tell me now about your clients. Like, I want to know specifically, tell me the last client that you worked with that you absolutely loved.
She just called me yesterday, and we're doing another transaction together. This one is for her aunt. So I've known her for several years, and on our first meeting, when we were out looking for homes for her and her husband and their family and their dog, we had like synergistic moments. It's almost like we would complete each other's sentences type of a thing. And we would just look at each other and go, did that just happen? And it was like an instant from that moment on. When those things started happening, it was an instant bonding.
That's amazing. And so you had this bond, this connection. And so how many transactions will you have done with her?
This one will probably be 5.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Over how many years?
Maybe 5 or 6 years.
That's incredible. So when you think about clients like that, what are clients like that saying about you? Like when they write a review or when they say thank you at the end of a transaction, or they're talking about you to their friends, what are they saying?
I'm not really sure because when her aunt came in, it was just, this is my family member and I want you to meet her and help her with the sale of her home. It was just because she herself needed a lot of guidance. She was a busy professional and did not know where to start. She says, there's just so much to do. I just don't know where to start. Can you please help me? That's how we got started.
So when people write reviews for you, what are some of the things that they say?
It was a smooth transaction and there was no salesy talk. They're very grateful for not having that.
Yeah. And what do you think it is that makes you different from other agents in your market?
Well, I have for this particular niche, I have personal experience. I've downsized myself and I'm a caregiver. I've experienced it for a number of years, and how just because you've downsized or you've retrofitted your home doesn't mean it's going to work. When you actually get there and you start occupying the space. And I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, I planned that so thoroughly and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Now what? So you just have to constantly find resources and redo things.
I think that's really important because when you have that personal experience, and you understand what they're going through, that gives you a level of credibility and it starts to build that trust. I want to go back to your last client when she brought her aunt in and she said, there's just so much to do. Do you have sort of a system or maybe a mental checklist that you communicate when somebody says that to you? Because it can be very overwhelming for this niche. Like they've lived in these homes for 40 years or whatever it is.
Right.
And the idea of going through that many years of accumulation is overwhelming. There is so much to do. So how do you navigate them through that?
It's overwhelming and it's emotional, very emotional. And you often don't know why until you start getting into it and talking to them about it. And also, I find that I have a checklist. I kind of review it before I meet them, and then I put it aside because what I'm doing is I'm interviewing the client and finding out what is their most difficult issue. Are they having trouble getting rid of things? Or do they not want to let go of anything? And they think they're going to move into a smaller place with all their stuff. It's like, no. And so one at a time. Or is it that their husband died 10 years ago and they still have his clothes in the closet? I mean, that's a different level of emotion that you're dealing with. So you don't want to just say, oh, that's got to go. That's got to go. You can't do that with seniors.
How do you manage that process?
Kind of much like we're talking now. It's it's a conversation. And I let them know that we're going to be working as a team. I am going to be asking a lot of questions. And then as we go, I may find out that the line of questions that I'm asking isn't relevant to this situation at all. So then we go and we look for something else. Is it because there's a lot of the home has never been updated and it has deferred maintenance? Is that the issue? Because that really is, that's a timeline issue. Do they have the funds or the wherewithal to get that done? So I'm constantly finding how much of my help are you going to need to get through this process? Do you need vendors? Do you need hand holding? Do you need me to come and help talk about it? I mean, pick up an item and say, what about this? kind of a
Wow.
thing.
So you're actually, if needed, going into the house and going through it with them through the pieces, the stuff to
Right,
determine what stays and what goes, and if it goes, how it goes.
right. Now, that isn't always the case. Like, my last client has Alzheimer's. That process isn't gonna work with someone like that. So, I had to hire a move manager,
Yep.
and then the move manager was interviewed by the family, and they decided how they were gonna work with the move manager because the move managers come in all different styles. They can help you a lot, they can help you a little. The goal is to keep all the items out of the landfill and figure
Yes.
out where they're gonna be distributed to. So
That's fabulous. And so it sounds like you have a list of vendors to help support whatever the situation might be.
right, and that's ever evolving because the vendors, you call them back up for your next project, and they're out of business, or they're in business and they're too busy, so, you know,
So
it's
what type of vendors might you need for these types of
definitely
clients?
move manage if they have a lot of stuff and it's very overwhelming and they can't deal with it in the end, have them take out and decide with the decision makers if they have one, or with me if they need my help, if they don't have someone that can do that,
Yeah.
what they want to keep. What's a game changer? What do they want to keep for their next chapter?
Yeah.
And then uh, after that, everything that stuff gets put aside or removed, just depends on the situation. They may be moving out of the house or they may be staying in it while all this is happening. Everyone has a different scenario on that one. Some vendors, I have a couple different move managers, it may not be a good fit. So then we move on to the next one.
So, and then do you have like stagers, organizers, handymen,
Yes,
people like that? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Sometimes because of my design background, I can handle all of the staging myself. But if it involves moving a whole house full of furniture into a vacant house to stage it, then we're going to have to get some help.
Okay.
That's a different type of a stager. But most of the time, I've been able to do it myself, so they don't have that extra cost.
Yeah.
And what it is it's staging for the camera to show off it's not full-blown staging, it's just like a suggestion of what the space could look like. Or it's something for the camera to focus on so that people can get an idea of space and how big something is.
So when I think about your greatest challenge right now, which is how to speak to this niche clientele, this sort of, I like to call them downsizers because on some level, they're moving on to that next chapter of their life, whatever it looks like, right? When I hear you tell me about the level of service that you provide them, I'm feeling like you need a couple of things. One, for the clients that are coming to you, I'm feeling like you need not necessarily a listing presentation, but a downsizing service package. And it's not a like a pamphlet, like here's how you downsize. It is here is my downsizing service. If you want to call it that. I think we can come up with a better name, but it's the Hilaire service package. And it includes, I think this upfront conversation that you have is really understated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot is handled in that,
Yes.
and it's ever evolving.
Yes. And I almost think you need to put that's one piece. So it's almost like, here's the package, here's how it works. Number one, I cater my service to your specific needs. And so in order to do that, we have there's what I call a discovery phase in which I will come to your home and learn everything I need to be able to customize uh, a selling package for your unique situation. That's an important part of this whole process, because when people think, oh, I'm going to hire a real estate agent, all they're thinking really is, I need to sell this house. They're not thinking about all the things that you're thinking about in terms of what goes into the whole process. And so I feel like that is a very important part of this process, to let that prospective client know how important this discovery piece is. That a big part of it is you listening to what their needs and their goals are, so that you can put a custom package together for them. I think that's number one. The second part of that package or that presentation is, here's how I work. I'm going to help you navigate all the pieces of this process, from decluttering and organizing your treasures, if you want to call them treasures, right? Years worth of accumulated treasures, to getting your home prepared to sell, to negotiating the best price, and assisting you in the next chapter of your life. And I think within those 3 or 4 things there, you can go deep on the detail in terms of what happens during those pieces. So for example, getting the home ready for sale, you can talk all about all the vendors that you have to bring in to help prepare your home, including yourself and your expertise as an interior designer. So that's the first thing I'm seeing is a really beautiful presentation that talks about the whole process, from discovery to preparation to negotiation and closing. In my mind, it's something that you can leave with them. They can look through it and think about questions that they might have for you. And then once you have the conversation and you know what the plan is, I think what would be really helpful is to have a timeline of what that plan looks like. Because I know, especially for that generation or that niche client, they like paper, right? Like they like to have something that they can hold in their hands. And of course, you can give it to them digitally as well. But if they have something, a guide that tells them, that's customized to them, that shows them from A to B how they're going to get and reach their goal, I think that would be super helpful as a follow-up. And then I have some ideas on how to actually go after this business. But before I do that, I want to know, how do you feel about that piece, the presentation piece?
I think it would be beautiful. The same question comes up in my head, though. Who am I focusing to?
Yes.
I mean, because what's going to work for a senior that is coherent and is going to be aging in place isn't going to work for their children or someone that is going to assisted living or Alzheimer's.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree, because whoever the seller is, whether it's the person who actually owns the home or it's their trustee, their child or whoever, that person still wants to feel what?
You're talking about the child or the...
Yeah, whoever's actually going to do the transaction with you how do they want to feel?
Well, the person that's helping, like a child or a relative, wants to feel that the best thing is being done for their relative and that they're safe.
Yes.
And that they have, I think a huge part is that they're discovering the options.
Yes.
And they're picking.
Yes. And isn't that what you're doing when you're doing that discovery process with them?
Right. And here's another part to it also. If it's someone that's ill, or maybe they don't know that they're ill, because things like that happen all the time, and people aren't prepared for it. Okay, so this is where I am today, and this sounds like a great solution. And then tomorrow they slip and fall.
Yeah.
That's a whole new scenario.
Yes. And so where do you come in on that?
You find out what actually, how are they? Did they hurt something that's not repairable?
Right.
Is it a hip? Is it a knee?
Yes.
I mean, can they no longer do stairs?
Yes.
Are they going to be in a wheelchair for a while?
So at the end of the day, whether it's that person who's fallen or their child who's managing the process, your what I'm hearing from you is your job is to help them to feel safe and cared for.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where I think this presentation or, what you're doing, essentially what I'm saying is take everything you're doing and document it on a presentation that I think that will help you to stand out from others in your market. And that is a piece that is specific to your niche. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is, as it relates to bringing in new business, you talked earlier about being part of the art league or in the community.
Mhm.
You also talked about being in a book club. And did I miss anything? Was there anything else? Of course, your interior design business.
Interior design, and I also am in a sewing league, clothing and textile advisors, where what we're doing is helping keep alive the skill of sewing.
Yes, which you would be mortified that I don't even know how to sew a button, Hilaire.
Oh, you need to know that.
My husband is like an amazing sewer.
Oh, okay. Well, you've got it covered.
I do. I have it covered. So here's what I'm thinking. You have these amazing communities in the art league, the book club, the sewing league, and then your interior design community. These are people who already know, like, and trust you. You said before they're people who are in your age bracket. Would you consider inviting them to a downsizing seminar where you brought together some of your best vendors and you essentially take them through that presentation that you've created to show them how you work? And essentially, it will show your values. At the end of the day, it will leave them feeling, if we do this right, it will leave them feeling safe and cared for. They either hire you directly for themselves or their parents, or they refer you because they know somebody who is either going through it or about to go through it. Would you consider doing that?
I would consider it. The method of doing it is where I have my challenge, because a lot of people don't like to, especially older people, don't like to get out and go to a place. So I would think if I could figure it out online, I would probably have a better attendance.
Yes, you could do it through Zoom.
And also then the opportunity for replay.
Exactly.
That way, if someone is handicapped or disabled or sick or not in the country, they may be traveling, they could still watch it.
Yes, absolutely. And then if they miss something like a good movie, you go back and watch it again and you learn more and more. Yeah, I love that. I feel like you are well connected inside your community and you have, really great groups that you can lean into that not only already know, like, and trust you, but that you feel comfortable getting in front of.
Yes.
And showing them how you can support them and their communities.
There's the other demographic of like the 35 to 55, which is my client that keeps referring me.
Yes.
They're a busy professional. She calls me from all over the country, and she lives locally. I met her through real estate. It's like, how do you, like, if I were to do some marketing, how would I attract that type of person that needs help with their extended family?
The sort of low-hanging fruit for you is to lean into the communities you're already part of.
Okay. And that's tends to be my comfort level also.
Exactly. I am a huge proponent of, I'm not about making cold calls. Unless you absolutely love making cold calls,
No.
I think that, we all have our interests and our passions. Most of us are already connected in some way to different areas in our community based on what our interests and our passions are. And to me, like I said, that's the low-hanging fruit. That's the area where we can really lean into and not feel salesy, and feel like we're offering, value and a service to people who really need it. And these people really do need it, whether it's the elder themselves or their children who is supporting them, especially those people who are supporting them because they're very busy, they're still working, and they need somebody like you to take care of all of the details.
I understand that section. My current client is, she's a perfect example of it and really appreciates the help. It's like, how would I get in front of more of people that need help?
Well, here's another idea. And this particular client would be great for this. If you could get her to agree and maybe 2 or 3 other clients to agree to go on video and talk about their experience with you and how you help navigate them through the overwhelming process of selling their parents' home. That's huge because a video like that can be put on your website. It can also be put on your YouTube, on your other social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and you can repurpose them time and time again. They're evergreen. They can be used over and over again because the fact of the matter is people aren't seeing things right off the bat. So you can repost them. I would also, have you ever done, or do you do an email newsletter? They're better than social media in my perspective, from the perspective of it's a one-to-one conversation. You're actually going into somebody's inbox versus them scrolling.
Oh.
Right. And so you could use that as a vehicle to promote your seller seminars and also to share your client stories through the videos that they do for you. And again, that'll help broaden your reach and bring in more business.
All right. Sounds like a strategy.
How do you feel now? Do you feel like, are you still frustrated? Are you feeling excited? Tell me how you're feeling.
I'm feeling like there's a little bit of light at the tunnel. It's like I get so involved in my work that I'm like, so, okay, how can I use this to promote myself a little bit? And, in the past, all my design work has been word of mouth, people that I know, people that are in the community that I'm in. And it's like, why would I want to try to do something else?
100%.
It doesn't feel comfortable to me. And actually, even when you get into doing other things, it's like the end goal is to get communication and consistency.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to go outside my comfort zone.
And you don't need to. You just need to be a little more strategic about it. That's all. Thanks so much for listening, and don't forget to click the follow-up button on your podcast app to make sure you never miss another episode. I would also love it if you would sign up for my weekly newsletter, The Sunbeam. Go to postandbeamcreative.com. And if you're listening and thinking, I could really use this in my business, I would love to hear from you. Go to coachingwithchristinegeorge.com and apply to be a guest on the show. I'm Christine George, and you're listening to Know Like Trust for Real Estate.